G'day, welcome to iCultivate. My name's Steve. Have you or are you about to move to a new location with few or no established gardens? Well, that is exactly what we have done. Gardening is a part of our soul, so the first decision to make has been not will we establish gardens, but what exactly will we do first? To answer that question, we considered what will be the most immediately useful thing in the garden, and for us, that is herbs. So during this video, we will look at how to establish a simple but very productive and useful herb garden. A herb garden for anywhere, on a large plot or even an apartment balcony. Herbs are scented plants used for both culinary and medicinal purposes. The herb's scent usually comes from the oil found in its leaves and flowers, and it's the heat from the cooking, or in fact the squeezing of the leaves, that releases that scent. There are many reasons to grow herb plants in your garden. They can be used as ornamental plants in borders or rockeries, some can be complementary to the growth of other plants, and some can even be used as deterrents to pest species and even nuisance animal visitors. However, for most people, including us, we grow herbs primarily to use in our cooking. So our herb selection is based mostly on which herbs we will need in our cooking. Common herbs that you might want to consider in your herb garden include things like basil, coriander, you can see here some oregano, and of course rosemary. Other herbs that you might like to consider, and I'm going to plant now, include things like sage, various types of mint, and I've got common mint and this one here is spearmint, some thyme, and of course the ever favourite parsley. Now each of these herbs I've selected because again these are herbs that we will use in our kitchen. So our first task when it comes to planting out our herb garden is to decide exactly what location we're going to put it in. Now herbs need sunlight and good drainage, so you need to look for a location where full sun is available for at least 70% of the day. This is not to say that you can't grow herbs with less sun, just don't choose a location that is mostly shady. Look for that place where it is mostly sunny. The next thing is the soil that you're going to plant your herbs into. Most herbs like a well-drained soil, so if you are planting in the ground, ensure that the soil is not clay. You may need to break the clay down and enrich the soil with a lot of organic matter. Alternatively, you might like to consider raised beds, and that's what I'm going to do here. In fact, I'm going to plant in the tubs. In my situation, I'm using this potting mix. Now this is a very good quality potting mix, but I'm going to enrich it a bit with some cow manure. And I'm just going to mix this cow manure through like so. But whether in garden beds or pots, don't be tempted to add too much compost or manure, as you'll get rapid growth at the expense of flavour in your herbs. 1 bag per square metre is a good starting point, or as you saw with this, in this entire wheelbarrow of potting mix, I added not even quite 1 bucket of manure. So when you're filling your tub with your prepared potting mix, what you need to do is bring the potting mix level up to the base of each of these pots. Place your pots in the position that you need them to be in. I'm not going to do that for this particular one here, we'll come back to that in a minute. But once they're in the position, then we can fill the potting mix around them, and just watch what I do here now. So now that we've got our potting mixture in place and it is firmed down, I'm going to remove the pot. I'll be left with a nice hole the size of the actual plant itself. I can now remove the plant from the pot, place it back into the hole, and what we've managed to do there is to get the plant in place with minimal root disturbance and into the exact location in the pot that we want it to be. I'm now going to repeat the process for this second plant. And there we have it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to give a very, very thin mulching of manure, followed by an organic mulch like sugarcane mulch, for example. Then I'll come back to plant these seedlings of parsley. Let's get this punnet of parsley seedlings in here now. It's always difficult to plant seedlings and then spread mulch around them. So don't. Spread the mulch first and then spread open a little area and put the seedling in there. Watch what I do. So with the seedlings out, just separate a little bit of the mulch. With your fingers, dig a little hole to put the seedling into. Firm down, and then you can put the mulch around them. Repeat that process. Once you have your plants in the tub, you need to finish it off with a good water with some seaweed emulsion. Giving them a good water with seaweed emulsion helps to minimise root shock, and of course it does help to get them established for providing you with that wonderful supply of fresh herbs for your kitchen. So let's now talk about the longer term care of your herbs. Firstly, you will need to ensure that they don't dry out. So regular watering is an absolute must. How often will depend on your climate, so keep an eye on the condition of the soil and water as often as is required to ensure that it doesn't dry out. It must be kept moist. Also, as you saw me do with the preparation of the herb bed, a light mulch with manure, cow manure is a good option, and maintain on top of this layer an organic mulch, both to help reduce evaporation from the soil. And lastly, ensure that you harvest your herbs regularly. This is going to help ensure that their growth habit remains strong and sturdy, not to mention providing you with some wonderful herbs for your kitchen. Now, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Can I please ask you to go down to the thumbs up and give us a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and go to our website iCultivate.net and become a member of the community. It's there that you can continue the conversation further. Thanks for watching.